What's up, guys?
What's up? It's Niko
and Jayden,
and welcome to
the
podcast.
That was good. That was good.
So actually, this is our first time ever meeting each other.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, we just actually met on the elevator outside.
Yeah, wow.
So, welcome to our first episode, guys.
Wow, this is exciting.
Is our third time recording this shit, I think.
Yeah,
we've had some technical difficulties, but
100%.
I think we're on track now.
Yeah, we're in a new location. It's kind of bland, but it works for now.
It works for now, and who knows? Maybe we'll move some tapestries in the back eventually.
Yeah, honestly,
once we get more comfortable.
Yeah,
we are currently in one of our school's study rooms, but
you got to work with what you have.
You got to work with what you have. Yeah.
100%.
All right, so let's get right into it, Jay. Why don't you give us a little rundown of who you are?
Yeah, guys. So most of you guys already know me. Like, our followers right now, most of you guys know us.
Just our friends and family.
Yes, but act as if I'm a complete stranger.
Exactly. Yes.
I'm Jayden.
By Ethel Kane.
I'm Jayden. I'm a psych major. Almost 21. I turned 21 in November, and yeah, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be on this podcast, and it's something that we've been talking about. But I'm trying to think. I can't.
You always do pronouns and sexuality. Do you think?
Yeah. I go by he/they pronouns. Sexuality. We're getting into that already. Hold on.
Let's save that for another episode. Stay tuned as we go on this journey together, guys. We'll keep it at pronouns.
Yeah, I'm just so excited. So, yeah, basically, go ahead.
My name's Niko. I am now a journalism and digital media major, but I was a psych major before.
Yeah.
I'm 20 years old, turning 21 in November.
Let's go.
Our birthdays are 16 days apart.
Yeah.
Turning 21 on the 21st. So
wow.
It's my golden year.
Golden birthday.
My pronouns are he, him, and yeah, that's really it. I'm just happy to be here.
What do you want to do with your major?
So, sorry if I just swallowed. I wonder if it's out of shit. My bad, guys. But I just applied for an internship at L'Oreal because my mom's an executive assistant there. So gotcha. I'm hoping this summer that I get that and that can help me build connections.
Yeah.
But ideally, I want to interview people and I want to write about it and I want to travel the world.
So
that's why I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping to get to. What about you?
That's cool. I'm hoping to be a licensed clinical social worker. I want to open my own practice for queer kids and help them be comfortable and help them have an outlet in therapy. But then also, at some point, I want to open up my own psychiatric facility and oversee and run things, but also be in the mix, like actually be on the hospital floors and not just in an office, and try to rewire the system because the mental health system in America is not as good as it should be. So
mental health system and medical system. That's actually the perfect segue that we didn't do on purpose to talk about our medical portions of our transition.
Yeah.
Dab me up. So I guess that this is the perfect time to talk about where we stand with our medical portions of our transition. Because although this is just a podcast about our lives, a part of our lives is that we're trans men.
Yeah.
And again, just to specify to all like the viewers, but more specifically our other trans viewers, medical portions of your transition does not validate or invalidate who you are as a trans man or a trans woman, whatever, non-binary person, whatever. Like, this is just part of our journey. So if you haven't had access or it's also not something that you're looking to do, it doesn't make you more or less trans than anybody else. And I feel like that's something 100%. Important to be mindful of. But I started testosterone in 2022, April of 2022. And I've been taking it ever since. So we're coming up on 3 years now this upcoming April.
Let's go.
And I got top surgery March 2023. So I just surpassed a year and a half. And ever since top surgery, life has gone up. I am capable of growing a connecting beard, but I shaved it. So now I have a little goatee situation. Just wait though. I'm growing the top and the beard out. Just give me a second. You guys will see. But yeah, top surgery saved my life, gender affirming care saved my life, all that stuff. Yeah. And I wouldn't be where I am right now without like testosterone. Like genuinely, that is the one thing that saved my life. And then everything else came after that.
That's amazing.
What about you? What are your markers, like points?
No, I got you. I came out as Jayden April 7th of 2023. And then I started testosterone that July 12th in 2023. So I just hit a year a couple months ago. Woo! And I agree. Gender affirming care saved my life. And it's been one of the most amazing years yet. And then I got top surgery 6 months after that on December 19th. So it's almost coming up on a year with that. So yeah, it's been such a fulfilling and rewarding year. And it's a year that I've gotten to actually experience life instead of just surviving it. So
Yeah.
it's been amazing. And I'm so excited for the future, and I'm so excited that we have the opportunity to be here and just talk about everything.
Exactly, because we are lucky enough to have met last year.
Yeah.
I think that's also important in our journeys as people, like meeting your best friend the way that we did. Yeah. We met in an acting class last year. Mind you, neither of us are acting majors, so it's not like, this is our paths for our careers or anything. We just took it as a free elective. And we started talking like three classes into the semester, and ever since then we've been inseparable. Our teacher used to call us twins.
Yes.
And he did know, obviously, that we were both trans dudes.
Yes.
But, I guess because, we're both the same height. We both act very, very similar. Yeah. And right now we have the same haircut. So, I guess you literally can't tell us apart.
100%. I mean, we're identical.
Yeah, exactly. But we also met two of our other, best friends, Marvin and Kayla, as well in that class. And the way that I just folded out, how we met, lifelong friends from such, a minuscule class. Also, shout out Cangela. Cangela, too. Cangela. She helped us, realize that this is kind of something that we wanted to do because she had us on her radio show called The Feminine Diaries. Yeah, because
check it out for sure.
Yeah, check it out for sure. If there's a way that we can figure out to link, we should put the links on the thing.
Got you.
But yeah, shout out her because she offered us to be on the show because she wants to talk about all different people and all different kinds of journeys of life. So she had us on there, and that's kind of where we we're like, you know what, this is something that we can do on our own. So shout out Cangela. We also met her in that class. What a wonderful class. Best professor I've ever had.
Yeah, Aaron De Jesus.
Yeah, he's so real. Oh, what a great guy.
Yeah.
But you feel like that's enough of an intro?
Yeah, I mean, I just also think when we're talking about meeting people, and yes, our professor knew that we were both trans, and yes, he called us twins, but it's also amazing because Niko and I didn't just connect because we're both trans.
Yeah, no, not at all.
We connect on so many different levels, and it's nice to know that our transness doesn't make our relationship whole.
Because we don't really even talk about being trans. Our general conversations are just conversations you would have with a best friend.
Best friend.
And, at first it was we both knew that we both had this one thing that tied us together.
Yes.
But that isn't what developed our friendship.
Yes.
It was the fact that we legitimately are the exact same person. We do the same things. We're when we're reacting to situations, we'll look at each other, we're reacting in the exact same way. Yeah. So you're so right. That's not all there is to our friendship. And I mean, I can count, we talk about things that have nothing to do with that.
No.
We just talk normal people, because at the end of the day, we are normal people.
And, when we talk about similar things, I think one of the most similar things that we have in common is the way that we love.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that we go about relationships, and the way that we experience romantic encounters as trans men. And I know that it's not only trans, only our transness that makes up for that. But because of that, we have a lot of similar experiences. And I think that's something that you guys should get to know about us as well. So do you want to start off?
I guess I can start off. So yes, I would agree with Jayden. We 100% have very similar romantic interactions.
Yeah.
When we recorded this the first time, when we were in the room, Jay said, "To be loved is to be seen," and he shouted me out. But I feel like I should shout you back out.
Oh my!
Because bro, to be loved is genuinely to be seen, and I've never been loved. Guys, we're not in love. We're just best friends. But I've never been loved the way that you love me, and I love you in a way that I haven't loved other people because we are so similar, and we know when I'm upset, Jay knows exactly what to do. I was going through it earlier this week. I was about to hop in the shower. I was like, Jay, you want to get tattoos? Jay was like, oh, I got to see, how much money we got. And then he found, the tattoo place that we got our piercings. He was having, one of the sales. So, we drove all the way there, and it was a great day. And, we spent time together. To be loved is to be seen. And Jay represents that.
Oh, wow.
So, shout out my boy Jay. But, yeah, romantic connection. So, all right. The people who know me, for real, who actually know me know that I've been out of touch in the romantic scene for a little bit because I did get out of an abusive relationship last year. If by any chance the person that I was in a relationship with watches this, I want you to know that this is not to disrespect you in any way, although you don't really deserve my respect in the first place. I'm not going to say your name. I'm not going to say any of your personal business. But the things that happened in our relationship altered who I am as a person to this day. And I don't want to give you that power because it wasn't fully you who did that. Yeah. But that abusive relationship absolutely changed the trajectory of my life. Mm-hmm. So to know me is to know the abuse that I've experienced.
Yes.
So if you watch this, cool, good for you. If it gets back to her, cool, good for you. But I just want you to know that this is not to disrespect you. It's to inform, other trans people that you don't have to tolerate minuscule, toxic love because you don't think you're capable of accepting it in other 100%. Areas. I realized I was capable of accepting it in other areas through my friends last year. Because after I got out of this relationship, my life was filled with love by the people around me. Like Jayden and then my group of friends that are girls as well. They all, everybody really just took care of me in a way and helped me rebuild. Yeah. But that abusive relationship, was horrible. And I think that I tolerated it for so long because I'm trans. Because I was like, this is the first girl that I had ever been with post-top surgery. So I got top surgery in March, and we started dating in May. Towards the end of May. We met for the first time in May. So it's very little time of me, experiencing life, experiencing what was out there for me. And, a lot of things that were said was like, nobody's going to love you. Yeah. Nobody's going to love you how I did. Nobody's going to care about you the way that I did. Hearing that from May all the way until February, of the next year, really impacted me. And I thought that, I eventually started to believe it. And I think people who go into relationships and are strong and have a good sense of self-worth don't stay so long in those scenarios because it's like, oh, you're telling me that nobody else is going to love me? You're ridiculous. That's not true. But for me, I'd never experienced love like that before. And I was like, is this what it's supposed to look like? Like, is this how it's supposed to feel? No. If you are crying almost like every single day, if you're not allowed to leave your room, if you're not allowed to make friends, if you're not allowed to leave your dorm in a tank top, you're not in the right relationship. I was not allowed to leave my room in this shirt. I didn't have this shirt, but I'm saying, like, for example, if my arms were out, I couldn't leave my room. Not at all. I couldn't make friends with people. My partner at the time was under the impression that every single person that I walked past was, like, romantically interested in me. So I just was not allowed to make these connections. And Jayden and I started being friends when I was in this relationship. And, they saw firsthand the stuff that I was experiencing because I vividly remember one time you were having a little bit of trouble with your top surgery stuff. Yeah. So we met at the Skyline. Jay and I met at the Skyline, and we had to set her name. My fault, y'all. I just got so comfortable. You're good. My partner at the time said, was like, why are you at the Skyline? Like, you cheating on me, blah, 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 blah. I was like, I'm at the Skyline with Jay right now. Yeah. And I was trying to focus on you, but all of my focus was put on this relationship. So I really didn't have a sense of life. I really just genuinely didn't. And I was so embarrassed about what I was experiencing because it was just embarrassing. Like, why am I staying with somebody who gets mad at me and pushes me into my ex's dorm door? Yeah. Who gets mad at me and will just use their physical force to be mad. And they always try to justify, hey, I'm not, what do you mean I'm not hitting you? I'm like, but you're putting your hands on me. You might not be punching me straight in the face, but you're pushing me and you're smacking me and because you're mad. Yeah. You're not my mom. Yeah. So it's although my mom shouldn't be doing that and she doesn't do that, you're not an adult figure in my life, so there's no need for you to sit here and try to almost penalize me. You're mad at me, so you decide, put your hands on me. That's not, I don't care. I don't play about this. That play fighting stuff, that's not what I'm talking about. But what I'm talking about is if your partner is mad at you and they put their hands on you, that's abuse. I don't care. You need to leave. You need to leave. And there was one time that sticks out to me, and then I'll cut this up so you can start talking about your romantic situations. But we went to my house. I told you about this. Most of my friends already know about this because it was one of those things where I was like, wow. But we went to my house, and my mom, I said something inappropriate. And my mom was like, Niko. And she slapped me. And then when we got to my room, my ex was like, so your mom can hit you, but I can't? Crazy. So, moral of the story is, in the first time this person came to my house, we were playing Mario, and she got mad, so she hit me in the head. Yeah, so, it's wild. First time, leave, because abusive relationships will never get better. They will never get better. I gave it a very long time, and I'm telling you right now, it never, ever gets better. So, when you see that first sign of abuse, no matter where you are in your life, even if you feel like you deserve it, even if you feel like there's no better out there, being in love with yourself is so much better than being in love with somebody who does not love you back. Yeah. So take the 100%. Time, leave the relationship, fill your life with friends, or just be alone. Because
Yeah.
being alone is so much better than being loved in a toxic, unhealthy way.
I 100% agree.
Yes.
I 100% agree. And I'm so proud of you because it's like
Thank
this
you.
past year has been such a pivotal year for you. And it's
100%,
been
yeah.
so exhausting and so
exhausting.
intoxicating. And the way you've handled it with such grace has just been amazing to see. And I'm so glad. And I agree. Anyone in abusive relationships, it will get better, but it will get better when you leave.
Exactly, yeah.
And when you stay in a relationship that is not meant for you, it's just going to hurt you a lot more. And when you do leave that, you're going to realize, like Niko did, that life is 1,000 times brighter. So
Absolutely. Like,
Yeah.
even, like, I can go to Target now and
Yeah.
have energy to go to Target because, like, yes, I was allowed to run errands on my own, but, like, I had no desire to because my energy was shot. What I wasn't allowed to do, though, was have friends.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
crazy.
not allowed to really make connections with people because, my partner thought, oh, like, blah, 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 like, blah, 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 you're trying to blah, blah, whatever, blah, 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 blah. No. If your partner tries to control you like that, you gotta go because it's only gonna get worse.
100%.
Leave at the first sign.
Yes.
And that's what we both know now.
Yeah.
Because Jay, too, we both, like, last year put up with things that we shouldn't have put up with because we thought is kind of what we deserved and we wouldn't get better. But now we both leave at the first sign.
Yeah.
Yeah. We might tolerate it a little bit, but we don't let it get past like a second sign.
Yeah.
Like first sign, we're out.
Yeah.
Good for us.
Yeah, good for us. I agree. I mean, with relationships with me, in the past year, I think the past year when I came out as Jayden, I was new. It was a whole new community that I was coming into, and I wasn't fully educated on what it meant to be trans and how I wasn't fully comfortable with myself, and I didn't know myself, and I didn't know the boundaries that I would let slip away. And I had a partner, and it was right when I was coming out as Jayden. And I think this was my first lack of, like, I didn't know what was right or what was wrong. And I came out as Jayden, and I was like, yeah, I'm a man. But my partner was talking about how she was still a lesbian. And I think that's really a bad sign. Really, really a bad sign.
You cannot be a lesbian and date trans men. And I'll
What he
stand on
said.
that. I'll stand on that.
Yeah, you cannot be a lesbian and date trans man because that's invalidating both of our identities, actually.
Yeah.
Because lesbians are women
Women
who
who love
like women, and trans men are men
Who are just men.
and
They are not women.
no, not at all. So I just think that was my first, and I stayed, and I was like, you know what, it's okay. Like, I know that you love me, I know that you care. But looking back on it, right afterwards, I'm like, I allowed that person to invalidate my own identity right when I was coming out because I didn't know, and I was still not comfortable with myself, and I still wasn't comfortable enough to stand up for myself. And over the past year, I've gone through relationships, and I've let things slide and all that stuff. But one thing that I will always say is never regret loving. Loving someone is such a privilege, and loving someone is one of the most beautiful. Wow, our campus is having a lot of stuff going on.
God.
Sorry, guys.
So you guys will see when you watch that how we both react to things very similarly.
Something's
where
going
is it?
on.
Oh, it's an ambulance.
Something's going on.
Sorry guys, it's the ADHD.
Yeah, crazy. But anyways, loving
Never regret loving is where you live.
loving someone is never a regret. Loving someone is one of the most beautiful things that you can do, and it's one of the most beautiful experiences as well. And having a big heart and having a big enough heart to care about someone and put your all into someone, I feel like that should never be taken for granted, and that should never be something that you are upset about. Because one day, the love that you give out and the love that you put into the world, someone's going to reciprocate that. And I think that has been my mindset over the past year. And yeah, I think that's what I mean by we're both really similar, because we both have really big hearts, and it's going to come back to us one day. And if it doesn't, I mean, it will, but if it doesn't, like, I will never regret that, because it's an amazing thing. So
Absolutely.
that's where relationships. That's how I stand on relationships. With that as well. But it's been hard. It's been hard in the past year because when you first come out, you don't think that you're lovable. I mean, that's just my experience, but I know a lot of other trans men, other trans people
That's
who
my
have
experience too,
experienced that. It's like, who's gonna love me? Who's gonna love me now that I'm not considered the norm, and now that I'm not a woman anymore, and I'm a 5'5" man. Like,
it sucks.
it's just, it's not a great thing to experience. It's not a great thing to feel.
Not at all.
But to any trans people out there who do not think that they're capable of love or capable of receiving love, that is false, and you will find that, and you will receive that, and you're so capable of that. And I would never take back being trans, because being trans made me love so much better, and being trans made me a lot gentler, and being trans made me open my eyes to things that I wouldn't have realized if I was still a woman. So the way I love is because of my transness, and I am forever thankful for that.
I agree. I agree. I'm at I'm at an interesting spot, like, cause I don't want to be a woman.
No.
Like, I'd never go back to that. The only thing that I think about often is, like, I wish that I was born a man.
Yes.
When it comes to romantic connections, because I feel like that there's some, like, there's people out there, like, who, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but basically what I'm trying to say is that I feel like that my dating pool would be larger if I was born a man.
That's true.
Because I know that I have a personality that's very, very attractive to a lot of people. I'm not sure.
Okay, all right.
Sorry. But when you grow up very unconfident and not necessarily conventionally attractive, you develop a very funny personality, and then you grow into yourself, and then you're deemed a bit more attractive.
Yeah.
I find myself attractive. Not everybody has to, but I find myself attractive. So I believe that I'm attractive, and now I'm also funny because I grew up ugly. So the personality came with like the traumatic childhood, whatever. Yeah. So I have a personality that attracts, in my opinion, like a decent amount of people, but I don't necessarily go after people because I feel like I'm gonna get shut down because I'm trans.
Yeah.
So I'm like very like, I wish I was born a man sometimes when it comes to my like romantic situations. I'm like, I feel like I'll have a shot with X, Y, and Z because if I was born a man, I feel like they would want me, but like they don't want me now because I'm trans. But the same way that you were saying the gentleness, like I think that we would be socialized differently if we were born men. 1,000%. So I don't think we would be as soft. I don't think we would be as compassionate and understanding.
Not at all.
And I think having to relearn your emotions, because contrary to popular belief, when you start testosterone, you have a full emotional switch because you're literally re-going through puberty as a grown adult. Yeah. So the puberty that men went through when they were angry and mad and jerks at 12, 13, 14 is what we went through at 19, 20. Yeah. As adults, and it's not acceptable to be a douchebag. You're like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we had to relearn and go, like, I'm open about going to therapy. Jay's open about going to therapy. We were going to therapy before, but, like, therapy as a trans man is like, I had to rewire my entire brain because I wasn't feeling emotions the same way that I was feeling them before testosterone. So it's like, we get that, and then we're very emotionally intelligent because we're trans. Because like we had to put in that extra work we've experienced emotions as women and we've experienced emotions as men. Yeah. So we kind of get the best of both worlds when it comes to emotions. So that's why I'm grateful for being trans, because I don't think I would be who I am if I was not trans. Like I'm comfortable in femininity, I'm comfortable in masculinity. And when I say femininity, I don't mean like, like skirts and dresses. That's not my vibe. My femininity to me is like crop tops and like self-care. Like, not saying self-care is feminine, but a lot of men disregard self-care because they think it's feminine. So, like, I don't care. Like, I'm in touch with my feminine side in the sense, like, I'm open to, like a lot of stuff when it comes to, like, fashion. Like, but, like, not skirts and dresses. That gives me PTSD. But anything other than that, like, I don't really care. But I feel like if I was born a cis man, like, if I was born a man, I don't know if I would necessarily, like, be in touch with, like, my emotions and, my femininity and fashion and all that. I'd probably be a pretty, like, basic white man. Yeah. Just because of, like, how my parents are and stuff like that. Shout out my parents. I love you guys. But I think if I was socialized as a man, my life would be so different. So I think that the like, plus to being trans is we kind of get to choose how we navigate life and how we want to.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. It's very much so an interesting journey and a journey that will never end. Yeah, and it's like it's been cool so far. It's been cool. I mean, it's been definitely hard. It's been it's definitely been one of the hardest couple years of my life. But on the topics of suicide prevention and wrapping this up, yes, like we said again, gender affirming care saved our lives.
Absolutely.
And, suicide prevention is in the month of September, and it's a topic that is hard and heavy, and something that I've had to deal with for throughout my entire life, but throughout the past 4 years, really, that have been super bad. But gender affirming care turned that around for me, and life is so beautiful, and life is so worth living. And anyone out there, especially our trans community, who's struggling and who does not see a way out and does not feel like anything is going to get better, it is. And
absolutely,
we're living proof of that.
Absolutely. And our DMs are always open too.
Yes,
we're very like chronically online. Like we're always on our phones and stuff.
If you it's bad.
Even if you're not trans, even if you're just one of our viewers,
exactly,
just reach out. Like we'll always listen.
Yeah.
You know, Jay's a psych major. I used to be a psych major.
Yeah.
So
we're just people.
Yeah, we're just people.
We're just people, but we're people who care. And we're people who have understanding.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, this life is so precious, and
because you get one.
Whether
you believe in whatever you believe, reincarnation, you know, heaven, hell, whatever. The life that you're living in this body with these people, you get one chance at that.
Yes.
So that's why this life is precious.
Yeah.
Like regardless of what you believe happens after you pass away in this life, you have one life like this.
Yes.
So you have to make the best of it, because
100%.
no matter what, like you cannot recreate it. Like yesterday was yesterday, today's today, tomorrow's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, to anyone out there who's struggling right now, it's gonna be okay, and you will be okay.
Absolutely,
and things will get better.
Absolutely.
But
in time.
I know.
In time, guys. We're so thanks for listening today. Basically, we're gonna give you a little rundown of next week. Jayden, why don't you let them know what we're gonna talk about next week?
Next week we're gonna be diving into our first week of classes, and
first full week, because we did have a couple classes this past week. But
and how dorming together has changed our life so far, because it already has. And then we're gonna be diving into like meeting new people and being comfortable in that, and then also football season's back. So whoever watches football, I'll be talking about that. I'll be talking about the Eagles' first game, and being in a football environment with a group of cis men as a trans guy. That's an interesting one. So we'll definitely catch up on some of that.
I've never watched football with dudes. Last year I watched the Super Bowl with the girls.
Yeah.
So,
it's interesting.
Yeah.
And Niko will be talking about music.
I love music.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we got some
music. Jay's thing is football. My thing is music.
Yeah.
So, you know, we'll catch up on that stuff. Yeah, guys, thanks for listening to us.
Yeah,
it was nice to meet you all. It's been amazing.
Yeah.
Our DMs are always open, and I guess we'll catch you next time.
Yes. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.